Hi guys, I'm back again for this second video on my journey with ICS International Citizenship Service, and I've gone with obviously Rally International that I explained in my previous video. So yesterday, Tuesday the 15th of October 2019, I had my assessment with Rally International, which took place at 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 in Westminster in London. And it went really well. We got greeted into a group. We had to fill out forms, so it was a DBS check, which is basically, it checks your background if you've got any criminal records in the past, and they want to make sure that you are clear of any previous charges you've had in the previous years and stuff like that. So I had to fill out that first form. They took a copy of my passport. I had a USB stick with me as well for my visa application, just in case as well. So that had my passport, new passport picture on there. A copy of my CV, which they wanted, and they wanted my proof of address as well, and obviously who I actually am. So I had to give them a copy of my old school certificate, just to say who I was. So that took between 20 minutes to half an hour. Once that was done, the people I was with, so there was meant to be, I want to say just over 25 people, but only, I want to say about 17 of us only turned up. So quite a few didn't turn up for some reason. So I then decided to think, well, as there's not as many people here, I will try and sell myself as possible, show off my skills that I already gained already. Obviously I work in retail, so it's always good to address that to people so they know I can talk a lot and stuff like that. So the first activity was it was a little bit of like a presentation, so we had to have a bit of scenario. So basically you had to design an event day in Tanzania for a little project called WASH. It's all to do with hand sanitizing for the people of Tanzania, because obviously their hygiene out there isn't as great as we had hoped, so it's good to teach them the proper ways of hygiene and stuff like that. So we had to do that at the very beginning. So I was in the group of 3, which, bear in mind, at the beginning there was a big group of us, got split between as well. So half would do the interviews at the beginning of the day, and then the other group would be doing the assessment. So I got put in the group of doing the assessment first, and then the afternoon I'd be doing the interviews. The people doing the interviews then do the assessment, so it got split between the day. But like I was saying before, so the task I was set was to organise an event amongst my small group for a little sort of event called WASH, basically teaching the people of Africa, mainly Tanzania, to how hygiene properly works and stuff. So that got sent relatively quick to us to give us this task, and we got sent off for it. The assessment for that first part was half an hour, I want to say. So that was that. So we worked as a team. We came up with a few ideas. I created a poster. The rest of my team created a sort of a timetable based upon how the day, if the event was actually real, what times and stuff would work best to get the event, beginning to the end. And then we had to think of an advertisement to sell our product to the people. Then any money that we would get from them, we would then give it back to charity. So it worked quite nicely. There were 2 other groups amongst that who had to do the exact same thing as us in the small room I was in with the other people. Then we had a short break, about 15 minutes if that. And then the next task was basically 3 scenarios that could potentially happen amongst the volunteering. Now, the volunteering alone is 10 to 12 weeks, so anything could potentially happen, in that time space you are there. So we had to, again, in the same group, the small group I was in before, we had to talk and we were being assessed anyway. I should have said at the beginning as well, we're all being assessed by individual bodies who work for Rally International, the organisers. So we get based upon points as well, and for every point we get, which is good, and then obviously I'll be getting to that point later on in the video where I'll explain how the point system works. But like I said, this next task was scenarios, so obviously things that could potentially happen in Tanzania. And like I said, we had to speak amongst the small group I was in of how we would resolve the issues, how we would improve, how would we, you know, cope with it as well. And it was a really good way to show our, you know, our potential skill we could take along to the volunteering for all them weeks, and how, you know, by doing that, it would show if we could be picked or not. That's the main point of the assessment, making sure the guys would pick the right people to go and do the volunteering. So there, like I said, there was 3 scenarios. They all got done. That took about 45 minutes to an hour, which I really enjoyed. It was quite interesting to see. And obviously there would always be that language barrier over there, so it's always a good idea to you know, see if we can learn the basic language of Tanzanian. So it's always good to learn that language in case someone there who we are staying with, who we're working with, you know, it basically is a lot easier to actually understand them if you know the basic of the language. So that was that. And then lunch kicked in, so we had about half an hour lunch. And then the group at the very beginning of the morning doing this, the interviews got swapped with us. So then they would be doing the assessment. I then, amongst the small group I was in, we would do the interviews, and I volunteered first to do the interview as well. So when it came to actually, you know, selling myself to the organisers, literally selling myself to them and explaining why I wanted to do volunteering. Like I said in my very first video amongst this journey anyway, I explained back in 2016 I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression, got put on a drug called citalopram, didn't like that, it wasn't really me, and I decided, you know, didn't want to do it, at all. So then I said to myself, well, what do I want to do? And I just explained to him, like, you know, drugs are not always the answer to mental health. I'm a true believer in actually getting it off your chest. So that was that. And then they explained a few problem solving scenarios again to me, you know, am I fully committed, you know, and this stuff. And they also said, you know, is there anything in this world, even in the time I've been on this planet, has there been any moment in your life that you've actually helped people? And I explained a few scenarios, you know, where I work at the moment, and obviously a few other places as well, amongst my family as well. So the interview went on, it was meant to be for half an hour to 40 minutes. I was only in there for about 25 minutes, if that. So went really well. I left the interview just saying to myself, look, I've really proven myself today, talking a lot amongst the assessment as well, getting myself involved, which they wanted to see, I would have thought, amongst everyone else. So then I went back into the room, waited for the other guys who I was in that small group to have their interviews. That went on for about an hour, well over an hour, I would say about an hour and a half. It was a long time. Then by the end of it, we all got called back into the main room, and then just had the final presentation from the organisers. Her name is Ruth, so she is the organising leader for Rally International. So she put together this assessment date, so she gave us a final brief and showing us this short video on why volunteering is good and why we should go with Rally International and stuff like that. Really cool video. It showed the experiences that I could potentially doing, which was great. So the point now I'm going to get to is the point system for the assessment day, in case you guys are not familiar. When people think, oh, I'm going for an assessment date for volunteering, it's not that bad, and not many people will be taking a really bat an eyelid of what I'm actually doing, but secretly they were scoring us based upon our performance. I still don't know the actual out of how many points it was in order to succeed. There was a pass mark or a fail mark. That was all I really knew at that point. So it got to the first assessment. That went on for like I said, it wasn't too long. And obviously they were basing us upon the activities we were doing. They were based upon points. So that, I want to say there was 4 objectives to hit, and then averaging the points, I want to say it was roughly out of 100. I want to say that's a reasonable pass mark to get, at least, for getting on this volunteering course. And anyway, so I left the assessment day. I left Raleigh International in Westminster, and just walking back, I thought to myself, like, I really wanted to pass. I really wanted to get this, so I've got to hear back by the end of this week, which is actually the I want to say it's the 20th, so it's the 20th of October, which isn't that far away at all. It's going to come around a lot sooner than I think, but I'm a little bit nervous to hear back from them, because it's either a yes or a no really for what it is, and I'm really hoping that I've passed. If I haven't passed, I'm going to be a little bit devastated, but at the same time, I know I've had that experience now to learn how to do it, and they'll give me feedback upon, you know, what I did right, what I did wrong. But I'm going to say now, just in case, I'm adamant that I've passed based upon my performance, and I really sold myself, and I can safely say that because I know I work hard in life. You know, you guys probably don't know that because you don't know what I do in my life, but I can say to myself that I knew I really gave it my all, and that's all I could have done. There's not much more I could have done that yesterday, but I'm glad I've got it over and done with now. I'm keeping you guys up to date with this as well, because I'm pretty sure people who've seen the previous video were intrigued on, oh, like what's happened, like, is he passed, has he not? I would highly recommend though, guys, applying as well, because like I say to anyone in this world, you're in this world once and that is it. You know, there's no more to it than that. So I then, like I said, came home, told mum and dad, you know, about it, and I said, you know, I gave it my all. So hopefully, fingers crossed, by the 20th of October, this Sunday, they will let me know. I will keep you guys up to date on this as well. So I'm a little bit nervous, but hopefully it's gone okay. So yeah, anyway guys, thought to let you know what happened yesterday. Anyway, if you want to leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on it, would you be willing to do volunteering, not with the ones I've gone with, but other volunteering companies out there in the world? And you know, it's a good experience. Make sure you like this video, guys, and share it as well. It always gives my channel a good sort of promotion as well, and to get other people to see my channel. So yeah, anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.